Hi guys, this is Emnal, and just a quick explanation and introduction. This whole series will be made out of a series of streams I've done around the release of Death or Dishonor. We are going to play Austria-Hungary, well, Hungary that restores Austria-Hungary. Problem, of course, is that this being a stream, it's not nearly as focused as the other playthroughs on the channel, so there will be a lot of chatter, a lot of answering questions, in some cases answering same questions several times, sometimes 10 minutes one after another, sometimes every hour or so. But yeah, I usually don't put such things on the channel because they are a bit lower quality, but that was actually quite an interesting game. And well, putting Hungarian game in actually gets us to 4 out of 4 when it comes to the new nations from the DLC. So I figured I will do an experiment. This is gonna be made out of at least 3 days of streaming. I've already done 2 out of those. So well, hopefully you guys will enjoy, and well, tell me if you want to see more of such things, well, not instead of standard playthroughs, but perhaps as an addition. Well, without out of the way, I hope you will enjoy. See ya! Alright, so I've done some testing, because, well, quite a few of those new focus trees are very event dependent, and well, your experience may vary depending on if you know or don't on how various things interact with one another. For example, I'll just start the game. We're going to yeah, we'll just leave it like that for this stream. For my Yugoslavia playthrough and Romania playthrough, I will go with maxed sliders for YouTube, but yeah, let's just chill. Alright, so there we go. Let's actually take a look at achievements. I believe there is an achievement for, well, simply creating Austria-Hungary. Let's see. As Hungary, have Miklos Horthy as a naval commander and build a battleship. Multiplayer games, perhaps. I have, well, the group I've played with all those YouTubers and stuff. Problem is that timings were not so great, because well, most of them were in US time zone, so I ended up playing at like game started at 2 AM or something, and that simply I couldn't keep doing that and survive. Yeah, so I assume this guy will survive, royal takeover, so we'll be able to do that. So that shouldn't be a problem. There has to be at least one for. So yeah, this one. Yeah, restore Austria-Hungary. So those two should be pretty simple. Now, of course, if you, well, at all played Hearts of Iron 4, you know that there is an Anschluss coming. Anschluss is the focus number 11 for Germany, which means that we will need to, restore Austria-Hungary, well, before that. Specifically, we need to finish this focus as our 10th focus at the latest. So there's like, if you do it right, there's like 95% chance that they will accept the referendum. So we're going to go through the referendum, but well, there is a 5% chance that's not going to happen. Similarly, later there's Protect Czechoslovakia. And the way it works is that you need to time it with German demands from Czechoslovakia, be it take the Sudetenland or, well, the annexation. And if you finish this while that focus is going on, they once again have like 95% chance of accepting an annexation. Otherwise, if you do it earlier, for example, they will just agree to be your puppets, which isn't all that great because that just puts you in the Germany's crosshairs. Well, before we start, let's just talk about the tree. There are two ways, for example, to go fascist. You can go through, well, they started balanced budget and economic intervention, so you can either go straight communist, and there are some very powerful bonuses if you are going communist, but well, for example, 5% recruitable population right here. There's also demand settlement, right? That's when the true I don't get the Czechs can reject the puppet of yes, they can reject, but they are very much inclined to accept actual annexation rather than puppeting on or rejecting when Germany wants to carve them up. So that's how the inner workings of it work. All right. Before I get to the questions, so you can go communist with some, as I mentioned, very powerful things such as additional 5% recruitable population. Well, that's mostly the one. You can then intervene Czechoslovakia. I actually haven't looked into that much, but yeah. So Comintern or your or your Hungarian version of communism. Here we have. Here we can go fascist either this way or through the fascist king. But what we are going to do is go to the Habsburg Prince and then, of course, all the way down here, restore Austria-Hungary. Then we'll try to carve up the other parts of former Habsburg Empire, so parts of Romania, parts of Poland, well, basically Yugoslavia. As you can see, parts of Italy, Bukovina apparently too, so that's from the Soviets. And here, finally, we'll get claims of Tuscany, Lombardy, well, basically northern Italy, as well as Jordan and Palestine apparently. So we are basically restoring good old Holy Roman Empire. Very well, deeply into Middle Ages. Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot to turn it off. My bad. Well, I didn't notice it there. There it goes. And here, right, our starting position is a bit weird because we start with Treaty of Trianon. That was the treaty at the end of World War I when Habsburg Empire was carved up, and it was very similar to the Versailles Treaty. It cut down Hungary to size and stopped the rearmament. So it has a massive 50% penalty to military factory construction, which means that if we were to build a military factory right now, it would end in a year and a half. So, there you go. So that's not the way to go in this case. We will be able to remove that by finishing this bit, blade agreement. So at first we can start secretly rearming, and then 2 focuses down, we can simply say to everyone around us that, well, we are not going to obey that treaty, and well, they have not much to say. But so I've seen people just going straight for it, but we don't actually need it as right now. What we want more is starting with balanced budgets, because that's 120 political power points that we can spend, and we are actually going to ignore that whole bit for the time being, and Our first 4 focuses, we just go straight here to invite a Prussian prince, Habsburg Prince, not a Prussian prince, and because that gives us additional 20% to political power gain. This is especially powerful on veteran difficulty, because that is not going to be affected by this minus 25%. Do you know if these decision trees are random? What do you mean? Decision trees or decisions on the tree, like referendum or what? Or what? This well, either way, even if they disagree, it doesn't matter. You still lose that thing, but they're angry at you. So that's basically it. So in this case specifically, it doesn't really matter what they do. Decisions to claim lands. Yes, they are randomized. Those are weighted things. So, for example, for Austria, for referendum, right? We will demand the referendum, and if they like us, if their opinion is over 75%, over 75, and if we finish this bit to reintegrate the railroads, there is 95% chance that they will say yes, but I just checked in the files basically, and if you only have that one, but they don't like you, then they don't like you enough, it's like 80%, and if you have neither, it's 70%. I believe. It's a bit more complicated when it comes to Czechoslovakia, but yeah, let's just play. I'll discuss that when we get there. So, balanced budget is the first one. The reason is because, as I mentioned, we need political power. We only have 0.5 per day, and this way we'll be able to simply get silent workers for more political power, and then get the prince. As far as production goes, we are going to get, we only have 6 factories and can't really build more, so towed artillery. We do have up-to-date close air support, so we will grab some of those. We have one more to spare, and since that was our only oil, we are not going to add more to here. I think we'll just get one more infantry equipment. We are, what, 8 down here, so we are just going to grab. Well, let's grab from Sweden, I say, and yeah, here we go. As far as construction, as I mentioned, we cannot really build military factories. I'm not a big fan of building civilian factories either, especially with civilian economy. So what we are going to do is actually build infrastructure. We will do, I've shown already that focus, there's a focus, reintegrate the railroads, and that adds 1 infrastructure in Transdanubia and 2 infrastructure in northern Hungary. So for that reason, to just reach, so we will build 2 here, 3 here, and 4 here. And for now, it doesn't look like it will be beneficial, because, well, you need to remember, build at least 5 factories for it to be worth it, but there are things that will increase the amount of building slots in northern Hungary, and the rest will rise accordingly with the tech. Tech, nothing too special, we'll just start with the standard stuff, construction, machine tools and electronics. As far as the tech that we are starting with, nothing interesting here, not even mountain infantry, unlike the rest of nations around here. Only recon company here, only Great War tanks, so pretty bad. Only artillery, no doctrines, of course no navy. We do, as I mentioned, have close air support thankfully, so at least something going for us. No doctrines, and you've seen that. So Well, we are one of the worst developed nations, actually, so we'll need to catch up on that. We are not going to train any troops quite yet because it's pointless at the moment. And we don't, since Trianon, since we start, of course, as disarmed nation and have additional minus 0.5 to our recruiter population, we really do not have anything going for us. So, well, we can restore them. So restoring the empire is one option. Second one is basically we are just going with the allies, or that's a Balkan pact apparently. So you are just making an alliance with Romania. And this, as mentioned, is the fascist tree. You can either go with Italy, even against Germany, simply by going. It would be called a Pact of Rome, or here you simply join Axis. And alright, and proclaim Greater Hungary. So you are going fascist, but you are going fascist on your own. So you're basically well, doing what, these days. Well, what doctrine I'm going for? I'll have to think about it. Air doctrine, definitely battlefield support, but land doctrine, I mean, in our situation, actually, Grand Battle Plan wouldn't be bad. But, well, all of them have their merits. Mobile warfare, sure, but that's very late, like when we will be already an empire of our own. Superior firepower is always good, but I've been going superior firepower in a lot of my campaigns, so like out of all those 4 campaigns from this DLC, I already went superior firepower in 2, so maybe I will change it up. Maybe even go for what is it? Mass assault? I don't know. It's just, well, you can make either of them work, but I'd say those 2 are best for your specific nation. This one is very good very early on, but since you don't really, as the way we are going with Austria-Hungary, you are not going to be at war too fast. Well, unless things go horribly wrong, but then you are simply screwed, to be honest. So you don't have to just rush doctrine to stay alive. Like for example, Czechoslovakia, that really needs to go for Grand Battle Plan or dies. Well, not specifically, but yeah, it's very good for the survival. We are going for political power gain, as you can see. So we have 0.5. That's because our base value is 2 and veteran difficulty cuts it by 25%. But this is calculated in such a way that bonus from this guy is not affected by those 25%. So we've gotten basically 15% of those to base value, increasing our income from 0.5 to 0.8. And once we get the Habsburg Prince that we are rushing, we will get additional 0.4 and we'll be at 1.2 at veteran difficulty. So great stuff. Spanish Civil War. No, I actually don't have to go to war with the Czechs. From what I've tested, like I've checked it, so to speak, twice, and I didn't have to go to war over it. And I'll show you how to do that later. I hope it works now, or I will die, because this is a very min-maxed way of going about things, as you will shortly see. We won't have much of an army to speak of. Well, we don't have to do anything with those quite yet, so yeah, let's just leave them be. Actually, let's check what kind of generals we have. Well, this one is good, but our field marshals are really nothing to write home about. Usually you get some field marshals that have, I don't know, at least defensive or offensive doctrine, but no such luck here. Okay. We're just going to fast forward till, well, on 5 speed there won't be any wars, so first 2-3 years we'll just be choosing tech and the rest, but nothing beyond that. So the safest way to actually go about Czechoslovakia is to allow Germans to force Sudetenland from them, but then you get a border war because they just take it all and it just looks very ugly. So we'll try to do it in such a way that we'll grab Czechoslovakia before they get the Sudetenland. And yeah, now yeah, we'll just start with the computing. We are not in such a hurry as Czechs, so we can actually afford mechanical computing. I like the king now, so still rushing for the political power thingy. So I'm actually quite impressed with the complexity of the trees, especially like Romania doesn't look like it, but it's such a mess that, in a good way, that there are three that there are there are at least probably 10 ways to go about things politically, and then you can switch them around later on, and so on and so forth. There's quite a lot of options. I think Romania will be a multiplayer powerhouse actually with the new tech tree, or even a multiplayer cancer. Yeah, well, there is a king, but king is not the leader of the parliament. You can restore king institute. You can restore king as a leader early on. Then you can switch the king, or you can then still having the king change the government to, well, democratic, fascist, communist, but you are still having the king behind you. Then you can either there's a lot of stuff going with the Romanian king actually. It's probably too. I will explain it. So I will probably get into first episode of Romanian playthrough will be on the channel, I believe, tomorrow or day after, because tomorrow I will have some errands to run. So I don't know how much time I will have to actually record. And I say actually haven't recorded next episode of Czechoslovakia, so I'll have to do that. I've been testing Romania and Hungary earlier today, so actually no content produced. But there's quite a lot of testing to be done. Now, so this is interesting. Like with all the early on, it was always concentrated industry, but with recent changes, so specifically production-based efficiency, it's almost for everyone except basically really nations that start with a lot of industry. I would say that dispersed industry is a better way to go, because you're bringing those factories online much faster. That plus 5% efficiency is a 50% increase basically, from 10 to 15, and then it goes to 20 and so on. So it's very powerful, I would say, dispersed industry. And just to, because the difference is still only 5%. So they're having hard time actually balancing those things, because every single time it's either always one or always the other. The whole minus 10% bomb vulnerability isn't really doing much. I mean, I really have hard time imagining a situation in which I would actually pick that. So. Alright, we elected the king, and we're going to invite Habsburg Prince. Well, not elected the king, we decided on having an election for the king. Good old Commonwealth traditions, I see. Yes, I'm going down the Habsburg tree. As it's in the title of the stream, we are going to restore the rightful Habsburg rule over these lands. Okay. Now, okay, so we have that done. I don't think I want excavation from the get-go. We don't have military, what is it called? Military theorist quite yet, so this is a bit wasteful, and I'm still not sure which one I want to pick, so well, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll just get some support weapons for starters. Actually, putting troops on the border doesn't really do much, but yeah. I would say now. Well, we are not going to pop the question quite yet, for several reasons. We actually want to make Germany waste a focus on Anschluss. I just hope I won't count it wrong, because that would be a shame. Oh, right. So we will have tons and tons of political power, and for that reason we are going to go for such absurd things that you're never taking, such as captain of industry, to increase our infrastructure construction speed. Because we are not actually going to really benefit from anything other than, I guess, military theories, but we can hold on to that. We'll have plenty of time to go for it later on. So, captain of industry, it is. Just don't do that at home. This is probably the only nation I can think of where going for captain of industry makes sense. Because you will have such a long period of peace. Well, if things go right, or you will die if things go wrong. Oh, right, I keep forgetting about the most important thing. What are the colors of Habsburgs, really? I guess red and green, in a way. Actually, I have never thought about it. Let's see. Yeah, it's red and green. Okay, let's go green. Oh, yeah, that will do, and let's put someone's face on it. This guy looks quite happy and very Habsburg Empire-esque. What resources you ask? So Hungary has shitloads of aluminium. This is actually in Czechoslovakia, sadly, so we don't have access to that. So it's basically aluminium, a single piece of oil. I guess someone is just, French fries and stuff and collecting, because I don't know, I get one oil compared to Romania 70, and well, 4 steel, so not much, not much at all. Okay, invite a Habsburg Prince. Oh, I should have probably read that, but sorry. Well, basically we invited Habsburg Prince, and now Otto von Habsburg, who has lived since the dissolution of the empire, and in Western Europe, now came back and is our rightful ruler. What we are going for now is going to be that secret rearmament. There we go. So secret rearmament is going to give us plus 5% factory output on top of some slight increase in recruitable population. Making airwings of 100, you see, is bad. I will have to look into it, because I remember it was okay. Like, I mean, making really small airwings was good at some point, but I always found it obnoxious and refused to do that. I think 100 is base value for aces, basically. So bonuses from aces are scaling depending on how your airwing differs from 100. So well, could you write like what is the actual problem with 100 airwings? I mean, there are some ways to like min-max it with like airwings of 10 or airwings of 20, but I just refuse to do that. So is there a better way to go about it? And why, since you're saying it's bad? One airwing, if you had 10 airwings with 10% detection, I think one wing arrives. It's almost guaranteed 2 to 1. Well, I would have well, I will test that, because, well, I always assume that the rolls for detection are, you know, per wing and so on and so forth. So I guess I will do the testing at some point later on. What? As far as I know, the smaller airwings are less of. All right, so you're saying that the bigger airwing, the better. Perhaps. Well, we shall see. I don't know. To be honest, this is like I test a lot of stuff like between the patches and so on and so forth, but I really haven't tested the air wings theory for months. I think last time I done any testing on that is when I was first getting my. All right, so war games or tactical air efforts, because we want to get there. We don't have any army experience, but and usually we'd go with army experience bonus in this case, but we will be getting a theorist, and on top of that we will be well, getting what is it? Yeah, design templates, division templates from the nations we will annex. So that will save us a lot of army experience. So we're just gonna go for theoretical efforts in this case. Right. I don't remember what is the command to allow you actually post links. Just cut off www and whatever. And you can post it. I'll look into it later.